Daredevil is back for another season, and as always it's riddled with Easter eggs and references related to the comics, the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe, a whole lot of characters both obscure and prominent, and all of the various Netflix series. So let's get into it. Bearing in mind, spoilers, all the spoilers. And also, if I don't touch on something here, you might find it in my Daredevil Season 1 or Jessica Jones Easter egg videos. I mean, maybe, I barely remember making them, let alone what's in them. Okay, let's go! Kicking things off with characters that appear in the comics. So many. Right out of the gate we get Baldur, written on the side of a truck, which could be a reference to the half-brother of Thor of the same name, as well as short-lived Irish gang leader Nesbitt, Grotto, a low-level gang member, and a dead biker by the name of Smitty, who Foggy goes looking for. He also references that he helped a man named Foster, which could be a nod to Jane Foster, or maybe even Bill Foster, who plays a prominent role in the Civil War comic, by being shot through the chest by a clone of Thor. What do you write on his death certificate? Complicated? Just comic shit. One of the alternate names said for the Punisher is Killdozer, a very minor Marvel character. Melvin Potter's gladiator shenanigans are referenced multiple times, including his disc blades, his emblem, as well as blueprints for his final costume. We also see what looks like Maggie Murdock, Matt Murdock's mother, who winds up as a nun who tends to him after the accident that leaves him blind. Blake Tower is seen, a man who eventually runs for DA. Finn Cooley shows up, only to get shot in the face, somewhat resembling his comic counterpart, but more, shot in the face and dead. The Punisher's dog Max makes a cameo, as does Roscoe Sweeney, the Fixer, the man who murdered Daredevil's father. Mr. Hiroshi shows up as a prominent leader of the Hand, as does Colonel Ray Shownova, Frank Castle's commanding officer, who also turns out to be part of the criminal underworld, as he's the blacksmith. In the comics, the blacksmith is an alien Skrull who bears zero resemblance to him and has sweet FA of his character traits. Lawyer Benjamin Donovan is seen, looking significantly smaller than his terrifyingly large comic counterpart, and we also get a hint at Micro, the Punisher's go-to guy for weapons and tech. Numerous general nods to Marvel Comics are also made. Nelson and Murdock often get paid in food. The Punisher shoots Daredevil. Daredevil loses his hearing with his senses going haywire, which isn't an uncommon occurrence for him. And he's also tied up by the Punisher, given a gun and an impossible ultimatum, like in the comic The Choice, even with some of the same dialogue lifted straight from it. Frank Castle also meets a Vietnam vet, possibly a nod to his original origin, as this is where he first served. Daredevil uses a chain whip in the hallway stair fight, much like Ghost Rider does. We also see more of Stiltman's costume, and the Punisher displays his reluctance to take medication, which is the same in the comics, as he feels it slows down his reflexes and dulls his senses. Elektra and Matt Murdock take a spin in a fancy red sports car. The Midtown Tunnel Project is mentioned, which is the same place where Spider-Man once fought a giant flying shark. I don't know why, but that is a thing that happened. Karen Page's mysterious and dark past is also hinted at. That might be something we get to see next season. We also get the People versus Frank Castle, a similar story arc to what we once got. A classic Punisher Kingpin fight, plus Daredevil's traditional billy club is seen, complete with grappling hook. So great. As was the Punisher's trademark skull. Stick also at one point says he's heading back to the Wall, which is where the Chased's headquarters are located, and Elektra is killed in a very similar way, except in that it's Bullseye. You probably also remember that from that movie with Ben Affleck, when everyone hated Ben Affleck. She also ends up getting her traditional weapons, and even a variation on her classic costume, but after she's dead. Well, dead for now. Like in the comics, it's unlikely that we won't see her again. Many hints at the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe also, like the Dogs of Hell, as seen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as multiple references towards the Avengers, including Karen Page stating at the end of the series that heroes aren't in the sky above us or gods, the newspaper servers being knocked out in The Incident, which could refer to any number of things, possibly Ultron or the Chitauri invasion, plus even an article on when the Hulk wrecked Harlem in his movie where Mark Ruffalo looked a lot like Edward Norton. Roxxon is mentioned, an evil organization that shows up everywhere, including Agent Carter, as well as its subsidiary, Asano Electronics, and Cybertech, the company in charge of the Deathlock program. Claire the Night Nurse also alludes to the time she helped Luke Cage in Jessica Jones. We get a Jessica Jones name drop by Foggy's ex-girlfriend, and both DA Samantha Reyes and Hogarth, both from that series, show up. We also see a member of the Hand lose a hand, which has been a common Easter egg in the Marvel Phase 2 films. Alright, just a few more. The boat that explodes has the number 227 on the side, the same number as the famous Frank Miller story arc Born Again. Plus Stick This is Sparta's a guy, just like in 300, which was also written by Frank Miller. The word Warzone is mentioned multiple times, potentially a nod to the Punisher Warzone movie, and of course, we get a superhero landing. Hooray.
Superhero landing! Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Alright, that'll do it. Now, if you are interested, I have a stack of Marvel videos, including other Easter egg ones, trailer breakdowns, and just, a bunch of other miscellaneous crap. I mean, quality content that you should subscribe for or to. And if you want, come back next Sunday, because I'll be doing this exact same thing for Batman v Superman, which should be something. Have I missed any Easter eggs from this video, though? I mean, definitely. So if you have any of your own, please feel free to leave them below. Also, this Monday on my podcast, The Weekly Planet, which is linked in the description, we're talking Daredevil Season 2 in depth. The good, the bad, the fact that we saw a minigun and that minigun wasn't used. Disgraceful! Alright, that'll do it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.